Now on Judge Mathis.
I'm feeling like I'm making a difference, changing lives and having an impact on people.
Judge Mathis.
Judge Mathis, real people with real disputes before a real judge, delivering real justice. The plaintiff, David Lesh, says the defendant, a high school friend, damaged his car when she threw a bottle at it as he drove away. Lisa Modelette, the defendant, says after the plaintiff came on her property and spit on her friend's car, she felt threatened and threw the bottle out of fear.
Okay, Mr. Lesh, you're suing the defendant for $995.86, alleging that she owes you this money for damaging your car.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, prove your case.
Over the summer, just got a new car. I'd only had it a couple of weeks. I was over to pick up one of my friends with another friend already in the car. Car was in great shape. I've been working for it for at least 2 years, save up the money for it. It's all in my name and everything. Drove to pick up my friend. He got in the car, and as we started to leave, the defendant and her friend drove by in her friend's car. And she deliberately threw a lit cigarette butt out the window of the car, which hit the side of my car.
Why'd she do that?
Jealous?
Did you have a new car?
I guess, maybe. She knew it was my car. She knew I'd just gotten it.
You all been friends?
Yeah, we were pretty good friends for a while. We followed them.
It never hit his car.
Well, why'd you flick it anyway at his car?
I didn't throw it at his car.
Oh.
I have witnesses. I have two.
Go ahead.
So we started to pull out after them, and we were going disc golfing, and we decided to follow them because she lived a short distance away. And we started following them, and we got in front of her car. They were still in the car. They were probably about 30 feet away. And I got out of the car, and I wanted to, kind of settle the score and retaliate, whatever. And everyone was, laughing, having a good time. I jumped out of the car. My two friends stayed in the car. And I spit on the front and back windshield of the defendant's friend's car. Later on, I had offered to wash the car or anything. They refused. So at that point, I started to walk back to the car. And I turned around, and I noticed that she had picked up a glass bottle that was laying in her yard. And I thought for sure that she would not throw it at my car because she knew it was brand new. So I walked back to the car, and at this point, one of my friends was in the back seat, and I have a softball bat in my car for the batting cages, and he got halfway out of the car and playfully held the bat in the air. And
came towards
But
us.
everything you do is playful, and everything they do is serious.
No, everything was all playful. They were having a good time. We were all laughing.
Okay,
and,
why are you suing her then?
Because she did damages to my car. We start to pull away, and we heard a crash, and my friends immediately said, "Stop the car, stop the car." She actually threw the bottle. So we get out of the car, and we look at the damage, and there were distinctly two dents because the bottle had broke over the molding. One on top of the molding, one below the molding. So I informed her that I would get an estimate of the damage and that she would have to pay for it. I later came back, and at no point during this whole thing was she sorry. She never apologized, anything like that. So got the estimate.
You harassed me and followed me to my house and went on my property. You didn't go on my property, you went in my driveway and spit on my friend's car. Then your friend came out with a bat and came towards the car and towards us. You didn't do anything?
That's untrue, Your Honor.
You said you did.
He didn't get out of the car. He kind of half-stepped out of the car.
What's untrue about what she said?
The person in my car wasn't threatening them or anything. He was just kind of playfully had the bat in the air. He never went onto the property. I was the only one who ever went into the property. And everyone was still laughing and having a good time up until she threw the bottle, and that's when things got serious. And I was still willing to forgive her, and everything would be fine, still keep friendship with her.
If she paid.
If she paid.
And she hasn't paid.
And she refused to pay.
Ma'am, tell me. You tell me your verdict. I'll get back to you.
So we were driving down the street, down my friend's street, and we went past his house, and we were going to stop and just say hi to him. And then we noticed that David's car was parked there. And we didn't have time to stop because I had to get back to my house because my dad was going to leave, and I didn't have a key to get into my house. So we just left, and I was smoking a cigarette, and I threw it out of the car. And I guess David thinks that I threw it at the car, and then it hit his car, etc., etc.
The people in my car saw you throw a cigarette, and it did hit my car.
Really? That's not what my witness says.
I have two witnesses that said that it did.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so then we went back to my house. We were driving back to my house, and David cut us off and almost caused a car accident. And then he was driving, really?
There was no reckless driving that ever happened.
Then he was driving 10 miles an hour in the center of the street, and cars were kind of getting ticked off about it. I mean, they weren't too thrilled that some kid's driving 10 miles an hour. And he had a couple people in his car, and he was just showing off, and we have a graduated licensing rule in Wisconsin that says that you can't have more than one person in the car. So then we went back to my house, and David sped after us, and we went in the driveway, and then he blocked off my driveway when he parked. and he came up and spit all over the car. The windows were unrolled. It was kind of splashing in because he was spitting on the car. He did it multiple times. Then our other friend got out of the car and came up with a bat. And when he came up with the bat, he pretended like he was going to hit the car or hit me. And, you know, we didn't really think that he was going to do it, but we weren't sure. We were just kind of like, what's going on?
He said they were all laughing and joking. Was that the case? When he came out with the bat?
They kept turning around and laughing at us, but we were...
With the bat?
Yeah. They were...
You knew they were joking?
What?
So you knew they were kidding?
No, I didn't. I didn't know what they were doing.
When they were laughing and joking, why did you think they were laughing and joking then?
Because he's cynical. He's a little jerk.
Who'll have to pay for the child's play? Testimony continues when we return.
Well, would you have hit someone with a bat that was threatening you? Would you have taken it away and hit him? Because that's assault.
That's who I would have hit with the bottle instead. If I was threatened by him.
Right, and then I would have gone to jail.
Right, and now instead you're getting sued.
Right.
Right.
If you're in Chicago and would like to attend a taping of the Judge Mathis Show, call us at 1-877-721-9813. David Lesh says the defendant owes him for damages she caused his car when she threw a bottle at him.
Well, why you damage his car?
Because I felt threatened.
Well, why didn't you hit the people with the bat?
Well, would you have hit someone with a bat that was threatening you? Would you have taken it away and hit him? Because that's assault.
That's who I would have hit with the bottle instead. If I was threatened by him.
Right, and then I would have gone to jail.
Right, and now instead you're getting sued.
Right.
Right, and you're gonna have to pay the lawsuit.
Well, actually.
Actually what?
So, anyway.
No, not anyway. You're gonna have to pay unless you have a reason you should not have to pay for the damages you committed against his car.
The reason I didn't have to pay was because I felt threatened by him. I didn't
What did
feel
he
that
do
they
to
were
threaten you? He didn't have a bat.
He cut us off. He spit all over my friend's car.
Your friend's car. Tell me what he did to you to threaten you.
He was on my property.
And the people with the bat?
And rude. And he was with
the person with the bat
who came towards me with the bat.
And you did nothing to him, though.
And what?
You did nothing to the person with the bat.
Well,
you finished school? You didn't drop out, did you?
No,
you didn't drop out,
I'm
did
on
you?
the honor roll. And then a week later, he came with a chocolate cake and threw it at my door.
Your Honor,
and my
that's
mother
not true. That's not true. I knew for a fact that it would affect my court case if I were to do something like that. She does have many enemies, in fact, at school. She has gotten very drunk. She's broken beer bottles. She's twisted people's nipples. She has punched people. She is not a very liked person in the community.
This honor roll scholar, you say gets drunk. What else?
She has punched people. She's broken beer bottles. She has caused a lot of trouble. She's had
who did the bomb
police
threat
called
in
to
middle
her
school,
house.
David?
That's not involved in this incident. That's years
and
ago.
And you did a bomb threat.
In the incident
that was in middle school. And I agree, that was a very foolish thing
You
to do.
all must be from one of those. You all must be from one of those tough inner city schools I always hear about.
And I claim responsibility for my actions when I did
you all
that.
from South Side of Chicago, East Side of Detroit,
West Side of Wisconsin,
Harlem, New York, Brooklyn, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin.
With the cows and everything, yes.
In the suburbs, perhaps?
Yep.
They do that type of thing in the suburbs?
I guess.
Well, why won't we ever hear about that on the news? All we ever hear about is the inner city kids.
So anyway, Your Honor, my mom saw...
I've heard enough. You owe him. You pay him that $995.86. That's my judgment.
Thank you.
Have a good day. You can keep it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. I had, 3 witnesses in my car who saw the whole thing, and everyone had the same story, and it all came together, and the truth came out.
I think he just talked to his friends about it and basically was like, yeah, we'll say this, say this, say this. And I think they just said it because he drives them around all the time, and that's the only reason they're friends with him.